Hello, everyone. My name is Todd Wall. Welcome to Communication Makeover, where we believe that intentional communication will lead to the breakthrough that you're looking for, both in your business and in your life. I'm loving this process of reinvention that we're walking through today because we oftentimes it feels just like you're in a dark room. I think I know where I'm going. I know exactly where I'm going, but you've got that anxiety of will I hit my shin on something? Will I slip on something? And so ultimately it causes you to freeze a little bit because the anxiety causes you to pause. If you've been watching the segments before, one thing I really enjoyed as we walked through awareness and Deirdre was opening up the windows, and then we walked into discovery, and she was saying it was almost a what if this, and what if that. Here's a moment that I picked up on. So you've got Ray, who's always been in operations. He's been in control, and he said, "Here's the direction I'm going." And or not, he didn't say that necessarily that way, but he's got a picture in his mind. It's the direction it's going to be, but you see the question marks beginning to come up of what might actually be possible. He said, "Mentoring, and I can do that anywhere." That was an exclamation point in my mind when I heard that. I'm interested to see with the direction that Deirdre and Ray go. It could be finding that path into higher education. It could be, what does being a mentor look like across the board? To go on the journey with people like he did with his daughter. You saw his face light up when he talked about that. I'm really curious to see which direction this conversation goes as he finds this new power of reinvention. Let's get right back to it. Here's Deirdre.
Ray, thanks for sticking with us, and everybody, thanks for being here. Let's go back in because you had said something in the last segment about how you have to do more of the connections on LinkedIn. You have to get better at it. And I want to remind you that I think you're pretty good at it because that's how we reconnected. You reached out to me, and I don't know the last time I had talked to you, and maybe you want to share a little bit about that.
Absolutely. So we were a connection in LinkedIn, but nothing more than that. We didn't really chat. We haven't seen each other since Leonia High School, right? So you're talking about 40, I'm just going to say 40 years ago.
Thank
And sorry. And somebody that worked for you as a summer intern was working at my former place. And I didn't know that you guys were a connection. And I saw it on LinkedIn. So I went into the office and I said to Claire, I said, I didn't realize that you and Deirdre were a connection. I said, I'm going to tell Deirdre I'm retiring from Mutual of America. And I did. And then I was saying, like, let's do lunch. And you were like, yeah. And then we reconnected. And I have to be honest, I was a little nervous. And I told you this, I brought the yearbook. And at least I had something to talk about. But we reconnected, and it really it became a natural process where we just started talking and about either personal or business, professional. And you were kind enough to say, "Hey, Ray, I got the segment. Would you like to be on it?" And I was like, "Absolutely, thank you."
Okay, so now you are somebody who mentors, you give back, and you are a connector. Do you see that?
Yes.
Yes, because you've done it before. And even when you were talking about mentoring, you can mentor your daughter, you could mentor people in higher education, but you can mentor anywhere. So that's an interesting path. How are you feeling right now?
No, great. I like Todd's intro to this segment because I do think I could mentor anywhere. I don't think it has to just be higher education or in the technical operations area either.
Right. So when you think about I could mentor anywhere, what pops into mind? So are there areas, are there fields, are there types of professionals that you would want to mentor?
I think that's the part that I keep on hitting the stop sign, the roadblock. I don't know the next path. I don't know where to take this. And I don't know who's going to listen. I guess that's the other thing. And I was a little nervous, but I think I'm past that point. You know, it's been more than a year, and now I'm ready to jump in and see where it takes me.
Right. So who's going to listen? Let's stick with that because
Hmm.
do you feel that that's just a LinkedIn type of feeling? Because when I hear you talk about mentoring your daughter and you light up,
Hmm.
she's listening. And when you talk about the work that you do with charities and Knights of Columbus, you light up. And I bet there are
Hmm.
connections and there's a give and take of listening and sharing. What
Absolutely.
about on what happens on LinkedIn? Is that a who's going to listen there?
Well, I think that's what I need to start doing. We had, what we previously discussed. I think especially with the Knights of Columbus, I think if I show that content out there, maybe there will be other connections out there that will connect. People will say, "Hey, Ray, you're not the only one. I'm out here too." And yes, I'm a Knights, active Knights of Columbus member, and or a food pantry. Actually, somebody Victor El Leonardo, he's in the similar boat, and he's doing the food pantry too. So it's
Oh, that's
it's funny.
great.
There's people like us out there. You just don't realize it until you start talking.
Well, I bet you there's a lot, and they're all on LinkedIn. So,
Yes.
what could you possibly take from your real life, and maybe even the last event that you went to? What could you share on LinkedIn? What would excite you? Would it be a photo? Would it be a video?
Oh,
Talk to me
definitely
about
the
that.
photo. The photo, and I had actually shared that with you. We did a toy drive with the River Edge and Paramus Police Departments, and we took a group shot with all of us in front of the River Edge Police Department, and we posted in the local newspaper. And I did that for two reasons. I wanted people to know that the Knights of Columbus is giving back to the community, and more importantly, I wanted everybody to know about these two great police departments and what they're doing, the toy drives and giving it back to the local communities, to these young people that are less fortunate than me, and I thought it was really a key moment, and especially around during the holidays. I think it was great, and I did get some texts from people that saw it in the local paper, and we did get some positive feedback as well.
That's great. Key moment. And that's fulfilling. It sounds
Yes,
like
absolutely.
right. So if you have these gratifying moments and you're fulfilled and you know that people appreciate and people also rally around stories and good things that
Hmm.
happen in the community, that's a part of news. That's good news. Sharing that will have people rally around the story in any community.
Yeah, and I never thought of that, and you had until you just mentioned it. I really never thought of that. So that's really something I have to zero in on.
Well, it sounds like something is forming. And remember, we all have a personal brand. And that's what we usually take when we show up. It's what we care about. So maybe just work with me here.
Sure.
If you could pick 3 words, just 3 words what you care about that you could attach to your brand. So now you have your LinkedIn profile and all you get in your profile is 3 words and each one just has
Hmm.
a period after it.
Hmm.
What might those 3 words be?
I'm going to say integrity, compassion, and desire.
Okay. And how might you show that or share that through stories and ways that people can connect with you in your LinkedIn community?
Well, now you have me thinking, which is a good thing.
That's
So
good.
I think if I reach out to some of the people that I'm the gentleman that I talked about, Ralph, who works at MetLife, where he had present, and another gentleman, Greg, who's now looking for something. I think if I reach out to them and say, "Hey, would you guys be willing to be part of this journey?" and maybe put some content out there with them, and then they can say, "Hey, absolutely." And Ray, this is why Ray meant something to me when I was starting my career. He looked out for me, and this is why I am where I am today. And then their connections grow off of that as we're
Excellent.
spitballing here.
I think this is really good spitballing. Ray, just hold your thoughts and we're going to be right back and dive a little bit deeper and then wrap it up.
I am loving this process. I hope you're enjoying it as much as I am. A couple of things I want to point out really quickly. One, did you notice when Ray said, "I just don't know who really wants to listen"? Like you felt the weight of the anxiety of no one wants to hear what I have to say. But then on the flip side, as they started discovering more, and he talked about the situation where he was in with sharing those environments, and he goes, you saw him light up, and he said the phrase, "Until you start talking." I'm wondering if that's going to be a critical factor of action statement. Just the secret power of just starting talking, getting people in conversation. Then there's the 3 words that she laid out. There's a lot of power in that discovery. They laid out compassion, desire, and integrity. And this is just the communication coach in me. I'm wondering if his mission going forward is a compassionate desire for integrity. I don't know. It could go in so many different directions. I'm just really curious, and let's follow along. So stick with us. We'll be right back, and let's just see where this conversation goes, because you can see the puzzle pieces beginning to take shape. We'll be right back.